The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Galactic Empire's scout ship, the Stargazer. Captain Zork, a seasoned officer with blue skin and 4 eyes, sat in his command chair, his tentacles twitching with boredom. It had been months since they'd discovered anything of interest. "Sir," called out the communications officer, her antennas perking up. "We're picking up an unknown signal." Zork's eyes widened. "Source: a small blue planet in a nearby system, sir. It's not in our database." Excitement rippled through the bridge. This was what they'd been waiting for, a new discovery. "Set course for the signal's origin," Zork ordered, his voice filled with anticipation. As the Stargazer approached the blue planet, the crew was amazed by its beauty. Swirling white clouds covered much of its surface, with glimpses of blue oceans and green landmasses peeking through. "Life signs?" Zork asked. The science officer nodded enthusiastically. "Billions, sir. And they're broadcasting. Radio waves, television signals, and internet data." Zork frowned. This was unusual. Most species at this level of development hadn't achieved space travel yet. Any signs of interstellar capabilities? "Negative, sir. They seem confined to their own planet and nearby moon." The captain made a decision. "Prepare a first contact team. We'll observe from orbit and send down a small group to gather information." Hours later, the away team returned, their expressions a mix of awe and confusion. "Report," Zork demanded. Lieutenant Yara, the team leader, stepped forward. "Sir, the inhabitants call themselves humans. They're bipedal, with varying skin colors and only 2 eyes." She paused, looking uncertain. "But sir, their technology. It's incredibly advanced for a species without interstellar travel." Zork leaned forward, intrigued. "Explain." "They have powerful computers, global communication networks, and are on the verge of true artificial intelligence. Their medical technology is impressive, and they're making rapid advancements in robotics and nanotechnology." The captain's tentacles curled in thought. "Any military capabilities?" Yara nodded gravely. "That's what's most concerning, sir. They have weapons of mass destruction capable of destroying their entire planet. And their conventional weapons, some of them rival our own." Murmurs of disbelief spread through the bridge. How could a species confined to one planet have such advanced technology? "Did they detect us?" Zork asked. "No, sir. We maintained our stealth protocols." "But," Yara hesitated. "Go on, Lieutenant." "Sir, they're actively searching for extraterrestrial life. They have massive radio telescopes and space probes. It's only a matter of time before they discover us." Zork sat back, his mind racing. This was unprecedented. A species on the brink of joining the galactic community, yet already possessing technology that could make them a formidable force. "Recommendations?" he asked his senior staff. The security chief spoke up. "We should report this to High Command immediately. These humans could be a potential threat." But the science officer disagreed. "Or they could be valuable allies. Their rate of technological advancement is astounding. Imagine what they could achieve with access to our knowledge." Zork considered both viewpoints. The Empire had never encountered a situation quite like this before. These humans were an anomaly, a wild card in the carefully balanced galactic political scene. "Send an encrypted message to High Command," Zork decided. "We'll maintain orbit and continue observations, but we must be cautious. If these humans are as advanced as they seem, any wrong move could lead to catastrophic consequences." As the Stargazer settled into orbit around Earth, its crew watched the blue planet with a mixture of fascination and apprehension. Little did they know that their discovery would set in motion a chain of events that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. The age-old question of whether humanity was alone in the universe was about to be answered. And the answer would change everything. Admiral Krell's face twisted with disgust as he watched the holographic images of Earth. The blue planet spun slowly, oblivious to the attention it was receiving from the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Dominion. These humans, Krell spat the word. They're nothing but primitive apes with fancy toys. Captain Zork of the Stargazer stood at attention, his tentacles twitching nervously. With respect, Admiral, their technology is quite advanced for. Silence. Krell thundered. They haven't even left their own solar system. They're no match for the Empire. Zork hesitated, then spoke again. Sir, our initial scans show their weapons could cause significant damage, even to our ships. Perhaps we should approach with caution. Krell's eyes narrowed. Are you suggesting we fear these primitives, Captain? No, sir. But a diplomatic approach might. Diplomacy is for the weak, Krell interrupted. We are the Galactic Empire. We do not negotiate. We conquer. As Krell issued orders to prepare for invasion, down on Earth, things were about to get interesting. In a top-secret facility deep beneath the Pentagon, General Sarah Chen stared at a wall of screens. Each one showed a different view of the massive alien ships now in orbit around Earth. How long have they been there? She asked, her voice tight with tension. Dr. Alan Rodriguez, the lead scientist, checked his tablet. We first detected them 3 days ago. They're using some kind of cloaking technology, but our quantum sensors picked them up. Chen nodded. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Ever since the discovery of the alien signal in 2035, Earth's nations had put aside their differences and poured resources into defense and space technology. Have they made any moves? Chen asked. No, ma'am. They seem to be watching us. Chen's eyes narrowed. Watching and planning. More likely. What's our status? Rodriguez swiped through screens on his tablet. Our planetary shield is at 100% capacity. Orbital defense platforms are armed and ready. The Luna base reports all systems green. And Project Phoenix. Rodriguez lowered his voice. The nanobot swarms are prepped and awaiting deployment. If they try to land troops, well, let's just say they're in for a nasty surprise. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Humanity might look primitive to these aliens, but they had a few tricks up their sleeves. What about first contact protocols? She asked. UN Secretary General is standing by. We can broadcast a message whenever you give the word. Chen took a deep breath. Do it. Let's see if we can avoid a war. As the UN's message of peace and friendship beamed towards the alien ships aboard the Dominion, Admiral Krell was finalizing his invasion plans. We'll start with a show of force, he growled. Destroy one of their major cities. That should bring them to their knees. Captain Zork looked horrified. Sir, that would be a war crime. We haven't even tried to communicate with them. Krell's tentacles writhed in anger. Are you questioning my orders, Captain? Before Zork could respond, a junior officer interrupted. Sirs, we're receiving a transmission from the planet. The bridges of both the Dominion and the Stargazer fell silent as the human message played. Words of peace, offers of friendship and cultural exchange filled the air. Zork felt a glimmer of hope. You see, Admiral, they want peace. We could learn so much from each other. For a moment, Krell seemed to consider this. Then his face hardened. It's a trick. They're trying to buy time while they prepare their defenses. But sir, enough, Krell roared. Prepare the main cannon. Target their largest city. We'll show these humans the price of defiance. As alarms blared across the Dominion, signaling the charging of its terrible weapon, down on Earth, General Chen watched with growing dread. They're powering up something big, Rodriguez reported, his voice shaking. Chen's jaw set in grim determination. So much for diplomacy. Initiate Omega Protocol, and may God have mercy on us all. As both sides prepared for a conflict that would reshape the galaxy, one thing became clear. The Galactic Empire had gravely misunderstood the situation. They thought they were dealing with primitive beings. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The tension in the United Nations Security Council chamber was thick enough to cut with a knife. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat in stunned silence as they watched the live feed from space. The alien ships loomed large, their weapons visibly charging. General Sarah Chen stood at the podium, her face grim. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. The aliens have rejected our offer of peace. They are preparing to attack." A murmur of fear rippled through the room. "But we are not defenseless," Chen continued, her voice strong. "For decades, we have prepared for this day. It's time to show these invaders what humanity is truly capable of." In orbit, aboard the Dominion, Admiral Krell watched with savage glee as the main cannon reached full power. "Fire on my command," he growled. Captain Zork made one last desperate attempt. "Sir, please reconsider. This could lead to..." Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. "What's happening?" Krell demanded. The tactical officer's tentacles trembled as he reported. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy buildups all over the planet's surface, and in orbit around their moon." On cue, Earth's orbital defense platforms shimmered into view, their cloaking devices deactivated. Massive gun barrels swiveled to target the alien fleet. Krell's eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. They're primitives." A new voice crackled over the comm system, broadcasted to every ship in the alien fleet. It was General Chen. "Attention, alien forces. This is Earth's Unified Defense Command. We have monitored your hostile actions and overheard your communications. Let me be clear. We do not want war. But if you force our hand, you will regret it." In the UN chamber, Chen nodded to Dr. Rodriguez. He tapped a command into his tablet, and suddenly, the alien's view of Earth changed dramatically. The planetary shield flickered into visibility, a shimmering energy barrier encasing the entire planet. On the moon's surface, massive cannons rose from hidden bunkers, their barrels gleaming in the starlight. Chen's voice continued, strong and unwavering. "We have technologies you can't imagine. Weapons that could reduce your fleet to atoms. Defenses that make your attacks futile. We've been preparing for this moment for generations." In orbit, Krell's flagship found itself surrounded by swarms of tiny, agile Earth fighters that seemed to appear out of nowhere. Their pilots' voices crackled over the comm. "This is Red Leader. Targets locked. Waiting for the go code. Blue Squadron in position. We can punch through their shields anytime, Command." Krell sank into his command chair, his bravado evaporating. This was not the easy conquest he had imagined. Back on Earth, Chen delivered the final warning. "We don't seek conflict. We'd prefer to meet in peace, to learn from each other. But make no mistake, if you attack, we will defend ourselves, and we will win." She paused, letting her words sink in. "You have 1 hour to power down your weapons and open a channel for diplomatic talks. If you don't, we will take your actions as a declaration of war. And I promise you, it's a war you cannot win." As Chen's image faded from their screens, chaos erupted on the bridges of the alien ships. Officers argued loudly, some demanding immediate retreat, others insisting they call the humans' bluff. In the midst of it all, Captain Zork approached Admiral Krell. "Sir," he said quietly, "I think we've made a terrible mistake." Krell didn't respond. He stared at the view screen, watching Earth's forces arrayed against them. For the first time in his long military career, he felt something he'd never experienced before. Fear. On the planet below, in military bases and civilian homes alike, humans held their breath. They had revealed their hand, shown the strength they had hidden for so long. Now, all they could do was wait. The next 60 minutes would determine the fate of two civilizations. Would the Galactic Empire heed the warning? Or would their pride lead them into a war they never expected to fight? As the clock began to count down, the entire galaxy stood on the brink of a conflict that would change everything. The next hour was the longest of Admiral Krell's life. He paced the bridge of the Dominion, his 4 eyes darting between the view screen showing Earth's defenses and the countdown timer ticking away mercilessly. "Sir," Captain Zork ventured. Shouldn't we contact High Command? This situation is beyond our... Silence. Krell snapped, but his voice lacked its usual force. I need to think. Meanwhile, on Earth, a flurry of activity consumed every major military installation. In the depths of the Pentagon, General Chen oversaw final preparations. Status report, she barked. Dr. Rodriguez's fingers flew over his tablet. Planetary shield at 100%. Orbital platforms fully armed. Luna Base reports all systems green. He paused, then added with a grim smile, Project Phoenix is ready for deployment. Chen nodded. And civilian evacuations. Underway, but it'll take days to get everyone to the underground shelters. Let's hope we have days, Chen muttered. Across the globe, humanity braced for war. In cities, people rushed to stock up on supplies. In secret mountain bunkers, world leaders gathered, ready to govern from safety if the worst happened. But it wasn't just the military preparing. In universities and tech companies, scientists and engineers worked feverishly, fine-tuning weapons and defenses that the aliens couldn't imagine. In a lab at MIT, Dr. Aisha Patel made final adjustments to a small, innocuous-looking device. The quantum field disruptor is ready, she reported via video link. If they breach the shield, this should fry every system on their ships. At SpaceX headquarters, Elon Musk Jr. stood before a hangar full of sleek, black ships. The Shadow Fleet is prepped and pilots are standing by. These babies can outmaneuver anything the aliens throw at us. Even average citizens were doing their part. Millions of home computers joined a global network, their combined processing power dedicated to cracking alien communications and predicting battle strategies. As the deadline approached, General Chen addressed the world one last time. People of Earth, she began, her face broadcast on screens worldwide. We stand at the brink of a conflict unlike any in human history, but we are ready. For generations, we have prepared in secret, advancing our technology, honing our skills. We have done this not out of fear, but out of caution and respect for the unknown. She paused, her eyes filled with determination. We do not seek war, but if war comes to us, we will meet it with all the strength, courage, and ingenuity that humanity possesses. Stand strong, stand united, and know that whatever happens, Earth will prevail. As Chen's words echoed across the planet, on the Dominion, Admiral Krell finally made his decision. Prepare for battle, he growled. We are the Galactic Empire. We do not bow to primitive threats. Captain Zork's face fell. Sir, with all due respect, this is madness. You've seen their capabilities. We should crush them. Krell roared. They've revealed all their defenses. Now we know exactly what we're up against. But as Krell turned away, Zork exchanged worried glances with other officers. They all knew the truth. The Admiral was underestimating their opponent, driven by pride and fear rather than reason. In secret, Zork began drafting a message to High Command. The Empire needed to know the full situation before it was too late. As the final minutes ticked away, both sides completed their preparations. Weapons were primed, shields were raised, and soldiers took their positions. On Earth, in space, and across the alien fleet, millions held their breath. The next few moments would determine the fate of two civilizations. The countdown reached 0. For a heartbeat, the universe seemed to pause. Then, with a blinding flash, the first shots were fired. The battle for Earth had begun. The silence of space shattered as the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Dominion, fired its main cannon. A blinding beam of energy streaked towards Earth, lighting up the darkness between the stars. Admiral Krell watched with savage glee. Let's see how their precious shield holds up against this. But as the beam struck Earth's planetary shield, something unexpected happened. Instead of piercing through or dispersing, the energy seemed to be absorbed. The shield glowed brighter and brighter, pulsing with power. On Earth, in the Pentagon's command center, Dr. Rodriguez grinned. It's working. The shield is converting their attack into usable energy. General Chen nodded, her face grim but determined. Good. Now it's our turn. All units, commence Operation Thunderbolt. Across Earth's orbit, hidden defense platforms shimmered into view. They fired in perfect synchronization, unleashing a barrage of advanced weaponry. Quantum-tipped missiles, plasma beams, and swarms of eye-controlled drones raced towards the alien fleet. Admiral Krell's eyes widened in shock as his ship's sensors overloaded. Evasive maneuvers. He bellowed, but it was too late. The first wave of Earth's attack tore through the alien fleet's outer defenses like paper. Ships exploded in silent bursts of fire and debris. Those that survived found their systems scrambled by electromagnetic pulses. Captain Zork rushed to Krell's side. Sir, we've lost a third of our fleet already. We need to retreat and regroup. But Krell's eyes were wild with rage and disbelief. Impossible. They're nothing but primitives. All ships pressed the attack. As the battle raged in space, Earth unleashed its next surprise. From hidden bases on the moon, massive rail guns opened fire. Each projectile, accelerated to near-light speed, struck with the force of a nuclear blast. The alien fleet, caught between the orbital defenses and the lunar assault, began to break apart. Ships collided in their panic to escape, while others fell victim to the relentless human attack. Back on Earth, in cities and towns across the globe, people watched the battle unfold on their screens. Years of preparation and fear gave way to a surge of hope. They were holding their own against the invaders. In New York, London, Tokyo, and countless other cities, crowds gathered in the streets, cheering each successful hit against the alien fleet. The world had never been more united. But the battle was far from over. Admiral Krell, his ship damaged but still operational, refused to admit defeat. Launch the dropships, he commanded. We'll bypass their orbital defenses and strike directly at their cities. Hundreds of smaller craft detached from the remaining Empire ships, diving towards Earth's atmosphere. This was the moment General Chen had been waiting for. Deploy Project Phoenix, she ordered. Across the globe, hidden silos opened. Swarms of microscopic robots filled the sky, invisible to the naked eye, but deadly to the incoming dropships. As the alien craft entered the atmosphere, the nanobots attacked, disassembling them molecule by molecule. In the Pentagon, Dr. Rodriguez watched in awe as the alien dropships simply vanished from their screens. It's like they're being erased from existence, he whispered. General Chen allowed herself a small smile. Humanity's been researching nanotechnology for decades. I bet the Empire wishes they'd paid more attention to our primitive science now. In space, Captain Zork watched in horror as the invasion force was decimated. He knew he had to act. While Admiral Krell was distracted, bellowing increasingly desperate orders, Zork sent an emergency transmission to the Empire's high command. This is Captain Zork of the Stargazer, he began, his voice urgent. We have gravely underestimated the humans. Request immediate cessation of hostilities and open diplomatic channels. The Empire faces catastrophic losses if this conflict continues. As the message beamed across the stars, the battle for Earth raged on. Humanity had weathered the first strike and hit back harder than anyone could have imagined. But the war was far from over, and the next few hours would determine the fate of both civilizations. As the remnants of the Galactic Empire's fleet struggled to regroup, Earth's military leaders saw an opportunity. It was time to take the fight to the enemy. General Chen's voice rang out in command centers across the globe. Initiate Operation Cosmic Storm. Let's show them what happens when you provoke humanity. In orbit, a new wave of Earth ships decloaked. These weren't the defensive platforms that had repelled the initial attack. These were sleek, predatory vessels built for one purpose: deep space combat. Captain Amelia Rodriguez, daughter of Dr. Rodriguez, sat in the command chair of the ESS Lionheart, Earth's most advanced battlecruiser. All ships, "Form up on me," she ordered. "We're taking the fight to their doorstep." The Earth fleet surged forward, their engines flaring bright against the darkness of space. They moved with a grace that belied their deadly purpose, effortlessly dodging the weakened fire from the remaining alien ships. Admiral Krell watched in disbelief as the human ships approached. "Impossible," he muttered. "They shouldn't have this technology. They couldn't have hidden this from us." But hidden it they had. For decades, Earth had been secretly building its space fleet, drawing on technology reverse-engineered from crashed alien craft and humanity's own innovations. Captain Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comms to the alien fleet. "This is your final warning. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded or face the consequences." Krell's response was a barrage of fire from the Dominion's remaining weapons, but his attack was uncoordinated, desperate. The Earth ships easily evaded the blasts. "So be it," Rodriguez said grimly. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta. Bring them down." The battle that followed was short but fierce. Earth's ships danced through space, their advanced AI systems predicting and countering every move the aliens made. Quantum torpedoes phased through the Empire's shields as if they weren't there. Gravity weapons created localized singularities that twisted and crushed alien hulls. On Earth, people watched in awe as humanity took the fight to the stars. In Times Square, crowds cheered as holographic displays showed Earth ships outmaneuvering their alien counterparts. In Tokyo, children waved flags as news reports announced another Empire vessel disabled. But it wasn't just a battle in space. Earth's hackers, linked into a global network, launched devastating cyber attacks. Alien ship systems crashed, life support failed, and weapons went offline as human-made viruses spread through their networks. In the Pentagon, Dr. Rodriguez monitored the digital battlefield. "We're in," he reported to General Chen. "Their entire command and control structure is compromised." Chen nodded, her face grim but satisfied. "Send the message." Across the alien fleet, on every screen and holographic display, a simple message appeared. "Look behind you." As the confused alien crews turned their sensors to the rear, they found a terrifying sight. The moon, Earth's faithful satellite, was on the move. Enormous engines, hidden beneath the lunar surface for centuries, pushed it out of orbit on a collision course with the Empire's fleet. Panic spread through the alien armada. Ships collided as they scrambled to escape, while others fell easy prey to Earth's relentless assault. Aboard the Dominion, Admiral Krell had finally lost his grip on reality. He laughed maniacally as his ship burned around him. "You see," he shouted at his terrified crew, "I told you they were dangerous. I told you." Captain Zork, seeing his commander's breakdown, took charge. "All ships, this is Captain Zork. The battle is lost. Initiate emergency fold space jump. Retreat to Rally Point Omega." As the remnants of the once mighty invasion fleet flickered and disappeared into fold space, Captain Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. "Central Command, this is Lionheart. The enemy is in full retreat. I repeat, the enemy is retreating." Cheers erupted in command centers and living rooms across Earth. Against all odds, humanity had not only survived its first interstellar war, it had won decisively. But as the celebration began, General Chen's voice cut through the jubilation. "Good work, everyone. But stay alert. This isn't over. The Empire will be back. And next time, they'll know what they're up against." The battle was won, but the war for humanity's place in the galaxy was just beginning. In the days following humanity's unexpected victory, Earth buzzed with a mixture of celebration and nervous anticipation. The alien threat had been repelled, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. At the United Nations headquarters in New York, now partially rebuilt after the battle, world leaders gathered for an emergency summit. The Grand Assembly Hall was packed, with representatives from every nation on Earth in attendance. General Sarah Chen stood at the podium, her uniform crisp despite the exhaustion evident in her eyes. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "we have won a great victory. But our war is far from over." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. On screens around the hall, images from the battle played. Earth ships dancing through explosions, the moon's dramatic maneuver, alien vessels retreating in disarray. "The Galactic Empire now knows we are not the easy prey they imagined," Chen continued. "They will return, and they will be prepared. We must be ready." In orbit, Captain Amelia Rodriguez supervised the cleanup operation from the bridge of the ESS Lionheart. Debris from destroyed ships cluttered Earth's orbital paths, a constant reminder of the recent conflict. "Status report," she called out. Her XO responded promptly. "We've cleared 60% of the debris, Captain. Salvage teams report they've recovered significant alien technology for study." Rodriguez nodded. Every piece of alien tech could provide crucial advantages for the battles to come. Back on Earth, in labs and research centers worldwide, scientists pored over the captured alien technology. Dr. Aisha Patel, the quantum physicist behind many of Earth's advanced weapons, led a team examining a partially intact alien engine. "This fold space drive," she mused, "it's like our theories of warp propulsion, but far more advanced. With this, we could reach the stars in days instead of years." Her colleague, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, looked up from a holographic display of alien star charts. "And we'll need to," he said grimly. "Look at the size of their empire. Earth is just a tiny speck on the edge of their territory." As humanity grappled with its new reality, the first diplomatic challenge arrived. A transmission, detected by deep space arrays, requested permission for a small alien ship to approach Earth under a flag of truce. In the White House Situation Room, the President of the United States conferred with other world leaders via secure video link. "It could be a trap," the Russian president warned, "or an opportunity," countered the Chinese premier. "We've proven our strength. Now we must prove our wisdom." After hours of debate, a decision was reached. The alien envoy would be allowed to land at a specially prepared site in neutral Switzerland. Days later, under heavy security, a sleek alien craft descended from the sky. As it touched down, the world held its breath. The ship's hatch opened, and out stepped a familiar figure, Captain Zork. In Geneva's Palais des Nations, Zork faced a panel of Earth's leaders. General Chen sat at the center, her face impassive. "I come on behalf of the Galactic Council," Zork began, his translator conveying his words in multiple Earth languages. "The Empire's attack on your world was unsanctioned and illegal under galactic law." Surprise rippled through the assembly. Zork continued, "The Council wishes to extend an official apology to Earth and open diplomatic relations. We have much to learn from each other." As negotiations began, humanity faced a new chapter in its history. Earth was no longer alone in the universe, and it had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. In the following months, changes swept across the planet. A unified Earth government was formed to deal with extraterrestrial affairs. The global economy shifted as alien technology was integrated into everyday life. Education systems were overhauled to prepare the next generation for life as a spacefaring civilization. And in shipyards orbiting Earth and Mars, a new fleet took shape. No longer just defenders of their home world, these ships were built to explore, to reach out into the galaxy. As the first of these new vessels prepared for its maiden voyage, Captain Rodriguez stood on the bridge, gazing at the stars that were now within humanity's reach. "Captain," her XO reported, "all systems are green. We're ready for fold space jump." Rodriguez nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "Then let's make humanity proud. Engage fold space drive. Next stop, the stars." As the ship disappeared in a flash of light, Earth watched with pride and hope. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once. It wouldn't make that mistake again. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of human expansion had begun.